Hi, I'm Laura Flanders of The Laura Flanders Show. Watch every week on Free Speech TV, Link TV, YouTube, or if you're in New York, CUNY TV. Prefer to listen? Subscribe to the free podcast at lauraflanders.com. I end every week with a commentary. I call it the F word. Here's this week's. The Americans with Disabilities Act turned 28 this July. The ADA was signed into law July 26, 1990 by the first President George Bush. It prohibits discrimination against people with disabilities in all areas of public life. And traditionally, Capitol Hill marks the day. The White House issues a statement, someone in the House or the Senate sponsors a declaration, full-throated, mealy-mouthed. Some administrations are keener than others, but what doesn't happen on the anniversary of this landmark civil rights law is nothing. And yet, that's what happened this year for the second time in a row. You guessed it. The first 2 years of the Trump administration are the first that the anniversaries passed without official anything. Was the People's House too busy? Well, not too busy to do other things. Under Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, the House found time to consider the Private Property Rights Protection Act, the Mill Springs Battlefield National Monument Act, even H.R. 6077, the National Comedy Center Recognition Act, but not the ADA. But that doesn't mean there was silence on Capitol Hill. Again this year, disabled rights activists flooded into Washington at the end of July for the annual conference of the National Council on Independent Living. A couple of days ahead of the ADA anniversary, they walked, wheeled, and scooted their way up to the Capitol for their annual rally and lobby day. You can see my coverage on Facebook. We have a report coming up. What difference does inclusion make? Well, without it, you can make a lot of bad decisions. From D.C., I returned to New York, a city that's just spent hundreds of millions of public dollars on subway renovations that ignored 1 in 6 of us. Just this month, the 39th Avenue station in Astoria, Queens, reopened after 8 months and $30 million spent on what was supposed to be complete reconstruction. It came back gleaming, light, airy, with new digital displays and new covered waiting areas, new platforms, new stairs, and that was it. New stairs. Like 75% of New York City stations, the lovely new 39th Avenue station still has no elevator. And that's not unusual, according to a recent report by the Comptroller's Office. More than 600,000 senior citizens, children under 5, and mobility-impaired New Yorkers live in neighborhoods without a single elevator-accessible subway station. The new MTA chief swears he'll do better. He just hired the first ever disability activist as a senior advisor. But getting sued helped. The MTA is right now in the process of settling a huge class action suit filed under the ADA. Knowing what we know about the Trump administration's treatment of women, immigrants, people of color, queers, and Jewish Americans, it is more important than ever that we stand up for the ADA and all our civil rights laws. The independent living folks are pushing for the Disability Integration Act, DIA, which would make the ADA even stronger. So how about for your anniversary act, you see if your representative has signed on. You can at ncil.org. And thanks. Watch this week's episode of The Laura Flanders Show or subscribe to the free audio podcast at lauraflanders.org or wherever it is that you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening and for your support. Make a contribution today to The Laura Flanders Show. And thanks.